Hello there, and a very good Monday afternoon to you. Welcome along. We're live, friends. It is Monday, November the 3rd, 2025. Halloween, done and dusted. Christmas, full speed ahead. Welcome to a brand new week. It's the Daily Crack Show with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio, the Irish Diaspora Station. Streaming on as many as 25 digital platforms. We're on Alexa, we're on the Global Irish Radio app. And we are with you live for the hour. Coming at you from just outside Castlebar here in County Mayo, where there's light rain. It's overcast, it's grey. Earlier on today there were sunny spells, few and far between. And I think we might be done with the sun for today. Will it ever stop raining? That's what we're wondering as well. But there you go. It looks like it will be remaining settled into much like last week and the week before, into this week as well. And the remnants of Melissa, the sloppy seconds of Melissa that dumped a lot of water on Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean last week, impacting our weather supposedly a little bit the early part of this week, so we will watch out for that. But no weather warnings, as far as I know, in effect at this hour or related to any of that. But it's a changing situation. The Irish weather changes rather often and rather rapidly. Welcome along, friends. We hope you're well. We hope you had a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Halloween. And the trick-or-treaters, I have to say, few and far between this year. I suspect that may be related to the weather as well. But anyway, we hope you're well. We hope you've shook off the candy hangover. There was lots of candy. Oh, there was. And now it's like... Now, as I say, Christmas, full steam ahead. No more exits before Christmas. Right, what have we got? It may have been Halloween, but the news never stops. And busy weekend news-wise here in this country. We've got some of the stories that you may have missed. The trending stories this lunchtime. The chitter-chatter of the nation, music as well. And if you'd like to get in touch, there's always a pleasure to hear from you. studio@gir.ie. studio@gir.ie. And if you missed the programme live, you can catch it any time at thedailycrack.com or wherever you get your podcast. And this one will drop later on today as well. Now, taking a look at, as I said, the weekend that was a treacherous weekend on the nation's roads. I'm sad to report 4 people lost their lives in another weekend of carnage on the nation's roads, including an 82-year-old pensioner. So, it never stops, the carnage, that is. So slow down, be safe out there, and a rough weekend on the roads. 4 people lost their lives. Dangerous place to be. The most dangerous place to be in this country is on our nation's roads. Usually the bank holiday weekends are the bad ones, but this weekend was particularly bad as well, as you can see there. So there you go. That story getting a lot of coverage in our papers today. A big weekend it was in Chicago, wasn't it? Oh, absolutely. It was Ireland versus the All Blacks. Big green invasion. Lots of green shirts taking over my social media feed over the weekend. Rugby fans took over Soldier Field, didn't they? Home of the Chicago Bears. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. There was tailgating, there was live music in the parking lot, and drink. Drink was being consumed as well. Can you believe it? But there you go. And everybody seemed to be having a whale of a time. I recognise lots of familiar faces on some of the videos and the TikTok videos and the, as I say, the Instagram, the Facebook. They're all over it, and I think every Irish person in Chicago went along to see Ireland at Soldier Field at the weekend. And sequels rarely match the original, or so we're told, and so it proved to be the case in Chicago this weekend, because the rematch fell, well, remember they met in 2016, and it was off the charts, the excitement, and Ireland beating the All Blacks. Well, this rematch fell flat as a spectacle. But both sides, well, they produced a rather disjointed, we're told, frustrating affair that only caught fire in the final quarter despite the circumstances, begging for an epic, or so says one online news site. But anyway, there you go. We didn't care what was happening, or they didn't care what was happening on the field of play. The fact that the Irish lost didn't dampen spirits one bit, not one iota, and it was a party-like atmosphere. Everybody had, as I said, a whale of a time. And lovely to see the Shannon Rovers pipe band on the field there, playing doing their thing, their drums and their pipes. And I haven't seen them or heard from them for a while, so it was nice. It brought back memories. And as I said, a lot of people there. It was everybody dressed in green. It was like St. Patrick's Day. And of course, Ireland didn't win, but as I said, it didn't matter. Ireland 13, New Zealand 26. And your man from New Zealand made the trip all the way from Auckland, New Zealand, Oliver Lee, whose programme you can hear right here on Global Irish Radio on Wednesdays, the Ireland Calling Radio Show. Oliver, I think he's involved with rugby publications in that part of the world. But in any event, he made the trip over to Chicago for that encounter with Auckland, his second favourite team, New Zealand, and the Irish. And his second favourite team won there. So that was Oliver Lee. As I say, he had lots of stuff. He was very busy, very, very active on his social media over the weekend and last night. He took it a lot. He looked like he did a lot of things when he was there. I was looking at some of the stuff that he did. He seemed to be in museum. He seemed to be all over the show. So there you go. He had an action-packed weekend. To say that's Oliver Lee from the Ireland Calling Radio Show that you get to hear here on Global Irish Radio at the weekends. So in Chicago for that encounter, that epic encounter. And we say, irrespective of the outcome, it was a very fun weekend, and lots of people, as I say, had a good time, and recognised lots of old faces there as well. And the tailgating was taking it to a whole new level there, the Irish, in the parking lot at Soldier Field. There was live music and everything. It was just a party-like atmosphere. Friends, we're live here on Global Irish Radio. We usually are around about this time, the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland. And we have a bit of a sporting story from Mayo ourselves. Kobe McDonald, who is the son of Mayo legend Kieran, looks like it's likely that he's going to move to Australia next year to sign for the AFL Aussie Rules side. That's a big blow to our hopes here to bring Sam back to where he belongs here in the West. The Crossmolina Deal Rovers man has been one of the brightest prospects in football. He started for Rovers in this year's Mayo Championship at just 17 years old, scoring 10 points in their extra-time semi-final defeat to Westport, earning plaudits from many, including Mayo legend Lee Keegan. So here's a rising star of the game here in County Mayo. Comes from a good tradition of football. As we say, the McDonalds. His dad, remember him? And didn't get an All-Ireland medal. Probably should have, but there you go. Kobe looking at his bright future. He's going to take it elsewhere. And we talk about this fairly regularly, don't we, on the Irish Ranter, and the fact that the players need to get more recognition and maybe financial remuneration. It's one of the beasts that the Ranter likes to bring up regularly. But anyway, a lot of a talent drain to Australia, and it's hard to blame these young lads because they have an opportunity, to make money. They're not going to make too much money playing for the GAA. They might get a few endorsements, or they might get a car to use a nice car for the year. But in terms of putting bread and butter on the table, nothing like that. So there you go. That's Mayo losing Kobe McDonald, it looks like, to the Australian Rules next year. He has a maybe he'll come home for the summer and play for Mayo and bring Sam back to the county. But anyway, there you go. It's good and it's bad. It's nice to see the lad with such a promising career ahead of him and being able to go off and take up a paid position in his sport. But then sad the fact that, obviously not playing for his county and all of the glory and acclaim that comes with that. But there you go. Kind of a sporting story from Mayo this Monday. We hope you're well, friends, and studio is studio@gir.ie if you feel the need to get in touch with us. Anything you want to get off your chest, anything like that, a piece of music. We're streaming live 24/7 at globalirishradio.com, and this is the Daily Crack, and dailycrack.com, as I say, for all previous episodes. What else have we got for you? Well, I mentioned it was a busy news weekend in terms of the news, and there was an ugly incident that happened over Halloween. And now there is reportedly widespread fear among asylum seekers in Ireland following a fire at one of the IPAS centres in Drogheda. On Friday, 4 children, including a baby, were among those who had to be rescued when the building was set alight. Now, initial reports on this story indicated that maybe a fireworks or something of that nature was thrown through one of the front windows, and obviously panic ensued. But once the fire department and the authorities got on scene, it transpired that it was a lot more sinister than that, and something more reminiscent of what happened in former times with the Ku Klux Klan almost. And I heard it being compared to that over the weekend, and it's sad that such thing is now happening here in Ireland. But as we say, it's an IPAS centre in Drogheda, and it was set alight over the weekend. And what they did was essentially they poured an accelerant, petrol or something of that nature, on the stairwell or the steps up to the top floor, and there could have been a loss of life, and there was young kids up there. And so no matter how you may disagree with government policy in a particular area with regards to how the asylum issue has been handled, surely that's not the way to go about it. It's a very, very, I suppose, I thought we were better than that, but anyway, there you go. And a lot of people were shocked and saddened, obviously, at, young children and families. They're people at the end of the day. They're humans. They're people. And I know the topic is a hot potato, and there's lots of dissenting viewpoints in terms of how the asylum issue is being handled. But blame the government and blame their mishandling of it and their total incompetence in terms of the situation the way it is right now, and the fact that there are so many of these centres and there are so many of these asylum seekers. But sure to goodness, burning them down like rats in a whatever, not the way it's good. Not nice. It doesn't reflect well on us as a country or a nation, and it was not a nice story, and it's not a nice story. That's one of the big stories from the weekend gone by. And thankfully no loss of life or anything of that nature, but a lot of scared people as a result of what happened there. And the Gardaí and the authorities now looking to enhance security around these places. And it comes in the aftermath, of course, of that big protests that got nasty and violent at the City West a week or two earlier. So it's a hot potato, but it's like there's better ways to go about it, I think, expressing your anger than burning people out of their buildings. A war of words has broken out between Fine Gael and their coalition partner Fianna Fáil as the fallout from the presidential election continues. You thought it was all over and done and dusted, and that Micheál Martin had survived the disastrous nomination of Jim Gavin, who crashed and burned and didn't end up contesting the election, and there was egg all over the face of Micheál Martin, and it was the knives were out, the wagons circling, and it looked like that Micheál Martin had put it behind him. And then over the weekend, more controversy, more scandal. Tensions have increased after it emerged that former Agriculture Minister and one-time Fine Gael TD for Wexford, Ivan Yates, mentored the Fianna Fáil candidate, Jim Gavin, but kept his role secret in the campaign. And why is this controversial? Well, first of all, he's a former Fine Gael member. Second of all, he's a broadcaster and commentator and pundit, and is the second half of a very popular and very successful podcast here in this country called A Path to Power. Himself and Matt Cooper every week dissect the news and analyse the news. As I say, he's a pundit, and he's a pundit that's full of colour and is entertaining. He delivers when it comes to his take on the news and putting things in perspective and plain speaking and all that nice stuff. Very interesting. One of my favourite podcasts. So obviously devastated this weekend to hear that Matt Cooper had parted ways with Ivan Yates, because Ivan Yates hadn't told him on the podcast that secretly, while he was acting as a pundit on the Path to Power and discussing the presidential election, and not to mention that he had called on another podcast he advised Fine Gael to smear the bejesus out of Heather Humphreys. And that went down like a lead balloon within the Fine Gael party, even though they seem to somewhat adapt that approach. If you think about it, in the way that they campaigned, they kind of they changed the nature and style of the campaign following that those words from Ivan. And some people said that they were running a smear campaign. But anyway, Fine Gael insiders and some of the top brass kind of blamed Ivan Yates for his comments and the negative impact, I suppose, it had, or they said that it had, on Heather's campaign. But anyway, all of this combined, and the fact that he was supposed to be an independent pundit, and all the while was secretly coaching Jim Gavin for those debates, and never revealed a thing, kept it very close to his chest. So it spelled trouble for his time on the podcast, and now it's big trouble and more problems for Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil leader Micheál Martin, who was forced to explain to the party what the hell was Ivan Yates doing involved in the campaign. And of course, Ivan's just a gun for hire, so he was getting paid for consultancy fees and stuff like that in terms of providing broadcast training. That's how he described it. And so this controversy continues on this Monday. It's a big talking point, and it's more pressure, as we say, on Micheál Martin, and again questions his judgment and reopens the wounds that is the failed presidential campaign here in this country for the Fianna Fáil candidate Jim Gavin. So it's interesting, and I listen to Ivan every single week on the Path to Power podcast with the Pat to Power podcast with Matt Cooper, and they referred back to the presidential election on this most recent episode, and Matt Cooper happened to mention to Ivan, they were talking at this point because the controversy hadn't broken, but Matt said to Ivan, you've become a footnote in this presidential election because of his comments with regards to the smearing of Heather Humphreys, but now he might be even more than a footnote. So this story is it's yet, we don't know where it's going to end up. Could it spell the end for Micheál Martin? Who knows? But as we said, there's no appetite. There doesn't seem to be an appetite within Fianna Fáil for a leadership heave. But the backbenchers and a certain amount of the disgruntled members of the parliamentary party would love to move in with the knives. Jim O'Callaghan, the natural successor, the favoured one to succeed Micheál Martin, doesn't seem ready though for that yet. So maybe Micheál Martin will live to fight another day. But those are some of the kind of the big news stories over the weekend. The attack on that asylum centre in Drogheda, that nasty attack that paints us as a nation in a very, very bad light. It's a small element, obviously, but it's a nasty element, and it's not a good look for us. And then the story of Ivan Yates, the wee whore, out there advising Jim Gavin and Fianna Fáil, and all the while not saying a word to the rest of us in terms of his contributions to that podcast with Matt Cooper, one of the most listened to and most successful podcasts. So I feel that I suppose Matt Cooper and the management of the podcast felt that in order to maintain and to protect the podcast, that they better sever links with Ivan Yates. So it's an ongoing story, and it's one that's got a lot of attention over the course of the weekend. Those were the two big stories that you may or you may not have came across. But anyway, another story that's making the news this Monday, and we'll tell you more about it. DJ Carey, the hurling great, was sentenced, and we'll tell you what he's facing. Take a look at the top trending series news stories in a bit. We're live, friends, here on Global Irish Radio, streaming live from just outside Castlebar. A kind of a soft day in the west of Ireland, and we're hoping that the rain, the light rain that's currently coming down, clears away for a nice walk later on today. But anyway, there you go. That's the latest. What else have we got for you? There's an interesting story in terms of people being born in this country. There were a record number of babies born to women aged 45 years and over in 2023. That's according to our friends at the Central Statistics Office. There was 408 babies born to women aged between to women aged over 45 in 2023. That's up 80% compared to 2013. So in 10 years, the women are getting older and more fertile in their old age, according to these latest numbers. Statistician at the CSO, Sean O'Connor, told RTE at the News at 1 today that in 2023, the average age of a mother giving birth was 33.2, which is up from 10 years previously when it was 32. So, but this last jump has gone, wow. The highest number of babies born to women 45 and over was recorded in 2023 with 408 births to women over the age of 45. So I'm not sure what that story tells us, but it is an interesting statistic and a story that's getting a wee bit of attention, a wee bit of coverage, as say this Monday. And another story that is rather interesting, it caught my attention because it's well, we see it right before our eyes on a daily basis, but more and more priests are being driven to breaking point, we're told, as the demand of serving in multiple parishes takes a heavy toll. There's been a huge a surge, rather, I should say, in the number of elderly clergymen suffering mental and physical exhaustion, with many barely able to meet their increased workload. That's what the Association of Catholic Priests has found. They must be having their annual thinking, or whatever it is the priests do, their annual association, or their gathering, getting together. Over the past 30 years, the number of serving priests in Ireland has halved to nearly 2,000, with most of them now in their 70s. Can you imagine that? The amount of priests across the island of Ireland, 2,000, and most of them, half of them, are in their 70s. So there you go. In another 10 years, there won't be too many left, will there? But as the number of active clergy continues to fall, and with just 13 seminarians in training, the demands on serving priests has been greater. And while the future of the church here in Ireland has rarely looked bleaker, and ahead of its annual general meeting, which is taking place this Wednesday, which represents about 1,000 clerics, they said that they were more concerned than ever at the rising numbers and the dwindling number of priests. A lot of priests, one priest I think is in his 90s, I think he's 94, and he's still running his parish. Many of the priests are working beyond their retirement age, which is generally accepted to be 75 years old. And one priest, a number of priests, lots of priests, they have multiple parishes now. And the strategy is to try and, rather than close the churches, to try and increase the number of churches that priests service, if you know what I mean, if you understand where I'm coming from. So lots of priests, and one priest in particular they have here that they've highlighted in this story has 7 parishes to take care of. So it's a tremendous workload. There's huge pressure on the clergy here in this country, and you wonder where's, as I say, only 13 seminarians, 2,000 priests nationwide, half of them over the age of 70. So it doesn't look good for the future. In other news, if you're looking for a sector that has good job opportunity with opportunities for promotion and all of the rest of it, and opportunities for advancement, well, the Catholic Church is hiring. But there you go. It's a story, another story that's getting a bit of attention this Monday, as the Association of Catholic Priests, or whatever they call themselves, they're getting together. They're meeting this Wednesday to talk about the challenges faced by the church. But as you can see, the poor lads working well into their well beyond the retirement age, and there's one fellow there into his 90s and still running a parish, and not much relief coming in the way of new seminarians or anything like that. So it's a challenging time, but I'm sure the Lord will provide. But there you go, that's the latest. And in other news, and a story that was on the front page of yesterday's Sunday World, showband legend Red Hurley. Big story on him and his second marriage. The story of his second marriage coming to an end. Showband legend Red Hurley has revealed his second marriage is over after his wife found out he fathered a secret daughter. Now, Red Hurley would be a legend in the showband circle. Actually, I interviewed him myself on Irish Radio in Chicago some time back. Lovely fella, nice interview, nice guy, and has had a great career. And this is his second marriage now that has come to an end. He's 75 now, but it all came crashing down when it became apparent, or it was revealed, that he had fathered a child 40 years earlier. But his second wife only found out about this 18 months ago, and her name is Norma, and it was just too much for her to bear. She felt the trust was broken. Even though he said he didn't really do anything wrong, it was after his second marriage had ended, and it was 10 years before his second marriage that he had this encounter, and he fathered a child. But the fact is, he never told the second wife of this daughter that he had fathered in between the two marriages. And it was a little... He said telling Norma seemed a simple thing to do, but it was more complicated at the time. Then it was too late as time went on. So little white lies can grow into bigger lies. And anyway, the whole thing culminated with the failure of Red Hurley's marriage. They've been apart now for 6 months or something like that. He's 75 years old, and he says they still get on very, very, very well, and they're good pals, but the bond was broken. So that's a story that had a lot of people talking yesterday. It was on the front page of the Sunday World. Yep. So there's never a good time to tell something like that, is there? And as Red Hurley said, he didn't really do anything wrong as such. It happened way before he met his second wife, but he intended to tell her, but he didn't tell her. And then as time went on, it became impossible to tell her. And incidentally, the daughter was 40 now or something, and he met her he kept in touch with her over the years. He wasn't overly involved with her upbringing or anything like that, but he kept in regular contact. She fell in love with a guy from London, and is living happily ever after and all the rest of it. But Red Hurley's marriage coming to an untimely end there. Another exciting story because I love fast cars, and a story that caught my eye in the papers today is a story, fast cars and women. It turns out women are becoming one of the fastest growing forces in Ireland's supercar market. That's according to luxury dealer and TikTok star Nadia Aidan. Now, Nadia used to be a stockbroker, I think, and during the crash, or not the crash, maybe it was during COVID. Anyway, she had a career change and she became big she got involved. She became a TikTok star, let's put it that way, and she got into the luxury car business. So she's a car dealer. And she says you know, she's a celebrity car dealer, if you will, and she says, you know, the face of you know, the people who are buying these luxury supercars, the likes of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and those supercars, a lot more women are buying performance cars for themselves, she said. And what else did she say? Well, she said they know the cars, they know their engineering, and they know exactly what they want. So, you know, it's not like in the old days where the lads and the boys were the ones coming in buying the fast cars, and the women didn't really, they got the hatchback or whatever it was. Oh no, these are powerful women, and the women, they have financial independence, and they're spending it on what they love. And according to Nadia, they're seeing more female collectors, more women in motorsport, and more women fronting car content online. So it's no longer a novelty, and it's no longer a male-dominated thing either. And she added that the shift isn't only about who's buying the cars, it's how they're buying them as well. Things have changed in that area as well. Social media has transformed how people are buying new cars. People used to bring in a mechanic. Nowadays they bring TikTok, she said. Yeah, buyers arrive with comparison videos and influencer reviews before they ever sit inside of the car. So they've done their homework. They've checked their TikTok videos. They've checked out that the influencers are saying, although I would take with a grain of salt what a lot of the influencers are saying, because they're getting paid to say it. But anyway, so yeah, it turns out, and Nadia has just opened a brand new, she's doing very well. She's pictured here in the papers today with this party that she had to celebrate the opening of Ashford Motors in Wicklow, another location of her very successful chain of motor dealerships, Ashford Motors. It was founded, as we say, in 2020 by the former stockbroker, and then she rose to fame on TikTok during the pandemic before becoming a breakout star of RTE's Secrets from the Showroom. So she's kind of a celebrity car dealership type person, and does a lot of work on TikTok and stuff like that. And she's telling us that things are changing. The way people buy cars are changing, and the people that are buying these luxury supercars becoming more and more likely to be a woman. So how's about that? They like their independence. They're not having babies until they're after 45, obviously, based on the other story we looked at. So what do you think? They want these fast cars, obviously, and they're coming to Nadia looking for the cars. So she says it's very much changed, and a lot more women buying the cars, and the nature of the business is changing. They had Garen Noon, one of the celebrity influencer, on hand for the party there, and I noticed that while maybe the people who buy the cars are changed, there's a lot more women buying the car. I'm looking at a picture of the folks that work at the dealership, and apart from Nadia, she's the only girl in the picture. So the people, the industry itself, and the people who work in the industry, I suppose, women, it's not, the women aren't interested in that aspect of it. By the looks of this picture, anyways, you say Nadia's picture there with a bunch of the lads that work at her car dealership, Ashford Motors, and they're all men. That's an interesting one to point out, even though there's a lot more women buying the cars. But there you go. I'm sure that will change in time as well too. But there you go. Friends, we are live here on Global Irish Radio. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. Lots of exciting programs coming your way this Monday, and we'll talk a little bit about that and throughout the week as well. And a brand new program coming to Global Irish Radio at the weekends. We will share details of that as well. We'll tell you what the top trending series news stories of the day are this Monday, and all of that nice stuff. Music as well, including this one from our pal Red Hurley, who is single again and maybe looking, who knows. But anyway, there you go, an eligible catch at 75. He still sounds great. Here he is with A Poor Man's Roses on the Daily Crack with me, Sean G.
She must make up her mind today, what to have or to hold. A poor man's roses or a rich man's gold. One's as wealthy as a king in a palace, though he's callous and cold. He may learn to give his heart for love instead of buying it with gold. she'll never miss. And yet the hand that brings the rose tonight is the hand she will hold. For the rose of love means more to her, more than any rich man's gold. She'll never miss. And yet the hand that brings the rose tonight is the hand she will hold. For the rose of love means more to her than any rich man's gold.
To Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigal Teigal Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigal Teigal. Listen to the Reigal Teigal on Global Irish Radio.
Yes, indeed, another chance to catch the Reigal Teigal tonight with Finbar. Gets its second airing at 10 o'clock tonight, Irish time, here on Global Irish Radio. Old rare recordings that you don't want to miss. And we thank Finbar for the great music. Now, before that, it was Poor Man's Roses, A Poor Man's Roses. That was Red Hurley, newly single Red Hurley, who's 75 now. And all because of Little White Lie, which we read all about in our papers yesterday, is single again. But there you go, we wish him well. He's a nice chap and he's a great singer, and had the great pleasure of interviewing him, as I said, many, many years ago. So we wish him well for the future. But anyway, there you go. As regards, oh yes, coming up later on today, I should tell you, we have great music, great programs coming your way here on Global Irish Radio. Check us out online at globalirishradio.com or gir.ie, wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find The Daily Crack, and also another podcast that we're associated with here, The Irish Ranter. Check out theirishranter.com for the latest episode of that. Not sure when we're doing the next one, The Ranter on the way back to Chicago as we speak. But we'll get round to it very, very soon, so keep one eye on theirishranter.com, or, as we say, wherever you get your podcasts. The Sounds Irish Radio programme comes your way 6 to 8 tonight here on Global Irish Radio. That's the one from Glasgow, Scotland. And the very best in country and Irish music, new releases, and a little bit of trad thrown in there as well for good measure. That's David Marks presiding over that one. Tom Flannery's back at his usual slot. Never changed for him, but it did for us for that past week while we were a little bit, all over the place with our times, with the daylight savings time, but that changed, and they put their clocks back in Chicago or in US of A, America, at the weekend in the wee hours of Saturday morning. Everybody got their extra hour of sleep, and they probably needed it, the ones that were at Soldier Field for the Ireland rugby match, which was, as I said at the outset, a great occasion. Lots of people having a wonderful time. Nice to see it. Nice to see happy people. So there you go. And there were lots of happy people at Soldier Field. I'd say every Irish person in Chicago was there on Saturday. There you go. Later on tonight, you can catch another episode or another chance to catch this programme, the Daily Crack, and as I say, the Reigal Teigal with Finbar, 10 o'clock tonight as well. So there you go. Some of the great programs coming away during the course of this Monday. Mention that we got a brand new show for you. We're adding it to the platform starting next Saturday. It is DJ Terry. Goes out 1 to 3 p.m. Irish time, which is breakfast time in the great United States. And so now your Saturday hangover has a soundtrack, and it's called DJ Terry. Good crack, full of energy, great music. You can catch it right here, as you say. Brand new on Global Irish Radio, so we're delighted to welcome DJ Terry to the lineup. Comes to you out of the UK, and great music, as we say, and great personality, great energy, as you will see. DJ Terry, a legend. Delighted to have DJ Terry on the Global Irish Radio schedule. Welcome. We welcome him along. And he is syndicated to us from irishradio.org, so we thank irishradio.org making all of that possible. Let us continue with the music. It is Monday. We're live here from Ireland on Global Irish Radio. It's a greyish, overcast kind of Monday. Let's continue with the music. I heard this one last night while listening to the radio, and I thought he sounded good, so we'll give it a play for you today. It is Liam Lawton. Hadn't come across the guy before, but just before we went to bed last night, it came on the radio, and I thought I got to look up that one. And Liam Lawton, and it's called In Your Heart. Take a listen.
Question your soul. So who will follow the quest? Who'll find a peace that the world can't resist? There is no point in searching, glancing the star, for the answer lies always deep in your heart. If we could try to turn back the time, search for a sign to change winter's bind, heal all the hearts broken, betrayed, where children once played, let love live again. Only you can answer for you. Only you to yourself be true. So who will follow the quest? Who'll find a peace that the world can't resist? There is no point in searching,
Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sundays 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Yes, indeed, friends. Right here. We have portions of it, courtesy of Irish 950, WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston. Great Irish music. The best thing about the weekends, isn't it? And the weekends just got better now. Your Saturdays with DJ Terry just before Paul Sullivan. On Saturdays, it is DJ Terry with 2 hours of great Irish and country music and all of that nice stuff. High energy. Just what you need on a Saturday. The soundtrack to your Saturday, the soundtrack to your weekend. And we have it all here on Global Irish Radio, the Irish Diaspora Station. Take us with you wherever you go. We're live, friends, here on Global Irish Radio. And it is Monday. Yeah, the Monday blues. We're getting through them bit by bit. We hope you're well. Let's take a look at some of the trending stories this hour here in Mother Ireland. And a man aged in his late teens has been arrested on suspicion of the murder of a 29-year-old man in Kildare town last month. Ryan Gibbons was found unresponsive on McGee Terrace on the Dublin Road at approximately 3:15 a.m. on Sunday the 26th of October. After being assaulted, he was taken to Naas General Hospital, where he died a few days later. This morning, Gardaí arrested a man in connection with the investigation on suspicion of murder. He's been held at a Garda station in the Kildare area. Gardaí launched a murder investigation after a post-mortem examination was conducted. And I see on the papers today, they're telling us that a promising sportsman is the prime suspect for that shocking one-punch killing of Ryan Weir. Now, let us continue here and see what else we got for you. DJ Carey, a man that was featured prominently, he featured very prominently over the weekend in the Halloween costumes. Yes, he did. It was one of the most popular costumes, we're told, for the trick-or-treaters. But anyway, former Kilkenny hurler DJ Carey has been jailed for 5.5 years for defrauding people by falsely claiming he had cancer and needed money for treatment. Carey was remanded in custody last Friday after Dublin Circuit Criminal Court heard he defrauded 22 people out of a total of almost 400,000. Just over 44,000 of that has been repaid. Elsewhere, we can tell you that there is a notable obituary this Monday, and President Michael D. Higgins has led the tributes to Sister Stanislaus Kennedy, describing her as a woman of immense courage and vision. Sister Stan died this morning, aged 86, following an illness. President Higgins said Sister Stan was a fearless advocate for women's rights and equality. And a story that we talked about at the top, and a story that's dominated the news cycle here in this country over the weekend. Ivan Yates, who is a pundit, a political pundit, is supposed to cover the story, not be the story, but he has become the story. Fianna Fáil has confirmed that broadcaster Ivan Yates provided 4 hours of interview and debate training to the party's candidate Jim Gavin during the presidential campaign in September. He should be getting his money back, because it didn't do till he crashed and burned in the debates as well, didn't he? But there you go. Ivan Yates had a tough assignment there, some would say, given that Jim he never did a political debate in his life, did he? He was outside of politics. Sport was his thing. But anyway, as we say, Ivan Yates provided 4 hours of training for that debate in September. The party said in a statement that Mr. Yates provided 2 sessions in the early stage of the campaign between the period of the 23rd of September and the 29th of September. The focus of the training was on the practicalities of in-studio interviews and was centred on preparations for 2 specific programmes, Fianna Fáil said. And as you can see, and if you've been watching the news here, it is creating headaches for Fianna Fáil and Micheál Martin, and increasing tension between the two coalition partners, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, in part relating to the comments that Ivan Yates had said or made in another podcast in terms of the advice that he was offered the Fine Gael candidate, and it became one of the big stories of the campaign as well. So it's the story that just won't go away for Micheál Martin. The second of 4 supermoons in a row will be visible rising at sunset on Wednesday evening across Ireland. So if you like your moons, and if you like stargazing, as we often like to do here in Mayo, when the skies are clear, which isn't very often, but when it is, it's nice to get out there. And we've had some great moons this year. some full moons. We've had the harvest moon more recently, which was very visible, very vibrant last month, and we can look forward to more super moons, 4 in a row. How's about that? If you're a moon person, you'll be very excited. 4 super moons in a row, and they'll be visible rising at sunset on Wednesday evening. A supermoon occurs when the full moon is closest to the Earth. You can almost reach out and touch it. Well, not quite, but you know what, that far away. But anyway, a supermoon occurs when a full moon is close to the Earth in its elliptical or... See, I shouldn't have gone for the second paragraph, but I did. But anyway, there you go. It's a full moon. It's when the moon is closest to the Earth. That's all you need to know. And there are 4 of them coming, and they'll be so close to the Earth that if you could reach through the clouds, you'd be able to touch it. We hope that you get a glimpse of it at least. There are 4 of them. Don't miss them. They're a spectacle. They're quite a sight to behold in the night sky. And finally, thank God, says you, a school canteen lady who was criticised for serving overflowing spice bags to students while her employer's business was struggling has won a case for unfair dismissal. She was just too nice. She had a big heart, much like the spice bags that she was filling. The woman had expected to return to work after the summer holidays last year, but received a text message from the company's secretary telling her that her employment had ended the previous May. When she claimed to have been unaware of this during a subsequent telephone call, the company's secretary allegedly replied, "You're old, you don't remember being told." I like that one. I'm going to try that on Margaret. You're old, you're too old to remember, you don't remember being told. But we did tell you. Didn't get away with it though. The company secretary denied saying this, adding that he did not know the woman's date of birth. He also accused her of using racist and abusive language towards him, which she also denied. The canteen lady made a complaint to the Workplace Relations Commission under Section 13 of the Industrial Relations Act 1969, claiming that she had been dismissed without notice or reason on August the 8th of 2024. Well, there, you just forgot. You're too old. But anyway, there you go. But the reason was apparently that she was overflowing. She was the portion sizes, giving the kids too much in their spice bags, putting the poor fella out of business, don't you know? But anyway, she won her case. Unfair dismissal. And those, friends, are some of the top trending series news. Hard to believe they're series news stories. Those are the stories of the day. Some of the stories getting a bit of traction here in this lovely country of ours. You're listening to The Daily Crack with me, Sean G, on Global Irish Radio. Here's Andy Cooney and a bunch of pals of his. You never learn to dance.
Oh, you never learn to dance, and you never learn to sing. You never wore a bridal gown or a golden wedding ring, and you never been to France or on an aeroplane. But in spite of all these things, you were happy just the same. Oh, the first time I saw you, I never will forget, standing on a city sidewalk in the rain and soaking wet. In your hand a withered flower that smelled like mountain thyme, and the gin that you were drinking was sweet as sparkling wine. And you never learned to dance, and you never learned to sing. Never wore a bridal gown or a golden wedding ring, and you never been to France or on an aeroplane. But in spite of all these things, you were happy just the same. And I know I'll always wonder when I see you passing by, just a little old bag lady with the twinkle in your eye. But sometimes you must get lonesome with no one to call your own, and a rundown railway station is the place you call your home. And you never learned to dance, and you never learned to sing. Never wore a bridal gown or a golden wedding ring, and you never been to France or on an aeroplane. But in spite of all these things, you were happy just the same. Woo! I saw you weren't there. The streets were so lonely, it seemed so cold and bare. And I wondered where you'd gone to. Did you make yourself a friend? Did you climb a golden stairway? Did you find the rainbow's end? And you never learned to dance, and you never learned to sing. Never wore a bridal gown or a golden wedding ring. And you never been to France or on an aeroplane. Despite of all these things, you were happy just the same. A diddly-ang-doo-da, diddly-ang-doo-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. A diddly-ang-doo-da, a diddly-ang-doo-doo, a diddly-ang-doo-doo, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da, a diddly-ang-doo-da.
Yeah, it's the great Andy Cooney. You Never Learned to Dance, the Johnny McAvoy song. And Eileen Ivers on the fiddle. Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide.
Hi, this is Nathan Carter, and tune in every day for Tom's Irish Radio Show, live from Chicago, 2 to 3 p.m, and Saturday for the Good Morning Ireland Radio Show from 1 to 3 on globalirishradio.com.
There you go, Tall Tom is back tonight with Tom's Irish Radio Show here on Global Irish Radio. Tom at gir.ie for your requests and dedications. Big shout out to our pal Mary Ellen Fitzpatrick in Philadelphia. A little bit under the weather over the weekend, so we hope you're feeling better today, Mary Allen. And to our good pal Johnny Foley out there in the windy city of Chicago. Pretty sure I saw him at the rugby match too, or at least celebrating with the other revelers. So to all of our friends out in Chicago as well, a very happy Monday to you. Hope you've shook off that rugby hangover. A great time was had by all, by the looks of it anyway. Friends, you've been listening to The Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio. We are the Irish Diaspora Station and bring Irish radio programs from Ireland, Irish communities all around the world. So what we do, check out our schedule for all of the programs. And I mentioned there Andy Cooney. Andy Cooney's New York Irish Music Hour goes out as well here on Global Irish Radio. I think it is tonight, but check the schedule for that. So there you go. That's pretty much our lot for today. And for the foreseeable future, we'll be taking a bit of a break. We'll be giving the Daily Crack a break for a little while, but we will see you somewhere down the line. Thank you to Margaret helping out each day here in the background, and thanks to you for your company each day throughout the days that we showed up, at least, for your company, and we'll see you somewhere, as I say, down the line. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other. And our quote of the day today comes from a lad by the name of, I think it's a lad, we only have the initials, E.E. Cummings. E.E. Cummings. That's the origin of today's quote. And E.E. says, easy now. E.E. says, the most wasted of all days is one without laughter. Ain't that the truth? The doctors will tell you, laughter is the best medicine. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. An onion a day keeps everyone away. But the most wasted of all days is one without laughter. So says E.E. Cummings. So we hope there's laughter and joy and fun in each and all of your days. Make space for a little laughter. don't take yourselves too serious. As the quote said on Friday, don't take life too seriously, you'll never make it out alive. That is our lot for today, friends. We will see you very, very soon at some point down the line. We'll leave you with the Tumbling Paddies and their latest release, Closing Time. Happy Monday.
Me off to meet the lads at the local spot. This town of ours is looking awful quiet. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Sure you know I love you, baby. See you on the other side of midnight, and I'll be taking it handy on the bellies and brandy. I'll sip a few shandy when I'm washing down the wine, feeling frisky. On Guinness and whiskey, knowing you'll be with me. A few beers down the line, where you go, I'll follow you. Where you go, and you know I'll always be true. Sure you know, and if I fall, I'll fall for you. Come closing time. On the breeze blows your hair. We're walking on the Culca stairs. Nothing's ever felt this right. You know I want to settle down. There's no one else I want you round. But understand, I still need the odd night, and I'll be taking it handy on the bellies and brandy. I'll sip a few shandy when I'm washing down the wine, feeling frisky. On Guinness and whiskey, knowing you'll be with me. A few beers down the line, where you go, I'll follow you. Where you go, and you know I'll always be true. Sure you know, and if I fall, I'll fall for you. I'm closing time. Closing time. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Sure you know I love you, baby. See you on the other side of midnight. Midnight, I'll be taking it handy on the bellies and brandy. I'll sip with you shandy when I'm washing down the wine, feeling frisky.